The Maker, a study in controlled chaos. Here, in the wild expanse of the home workshop, we observe a rare and curious creature, the baboon Makericus. He believes he understands what he is doing. He does not. He approaches his so-called mega smoother with the calm of a man who has read exactly one forum post. Half of it in a language he does not speak. Most creatures learn through careful observation. Patience, study, the baboon Makericus has chosen a nobler path. The ancient and sacred ritual known to his kind as fucking around, and so he fucks around with a confidence that borders on the divine. Wires are connected, some of them correctly. Settings are changed, not because he understands them, but because they were there, for he has skipped every single step. That would grant him such knowledge, and yet something stirs against all odds, against all reason, against the very laws of engineering itself. It works, dumb luck, or the pinnacle of evolution. A creature so unburdened by knowledge that he stumbles blind and magnificent directly into genius. We may never know, he certainly will not. This creature is a maker.
I'm back, baby! Welcome back to the shop. Today we are going to release one of my oldest open source projects I have ever worked on. This is going to be my Mega Smoother. If you don't know, the example is in there. We have the Polymaker, what the fuck is it called again? Polisher 2nd edition. It is sitting in my version of the Polisher. I call it the Mega Smoother. So what is it? You take some PVB filament. This is from Polymaker, and all these boxes right in front of me have been sponsored by Polymaker, but the video has been sponsored by PCBWay, but more on them later. If you have never heard of PVB, PVB is a filament you can print like PLA, but it smooths with alcohol. I can hear you already thinking, why the hell would I want to do that? For this reason. This has been printed and smoothed with PVB and just some plain alcohol. So the only thing this machine does is take this IPA, turn it into a mist, and then make all your prints nice, buttery smooth. We do have similarities if I look at it. Massive warnings, this machine is extremely dangerous. By that I mean we are vaporizing IPA, super flammable and super explosive. That is why I am going to button up real good, because if it goes boom, we want to protect our nicely streamlined body. Now we did a bunch of testing and I know it is kind of safe. We have done quite a few hours of smoothing in this machine, and so far we are at 0 days. We blew up this shed. But please take this as a very, very clear rule. Super flammable, big chamber, electronics, sparky, and then alright, now we are up to safety. Let's talk about the machine real quick before we are going to do a bunch of prints and see if my latest iteration actually does the thing that I wanted to do the thing. You know, alcohol. And here we have it, the Mega Smoother in all its glory. Now, before I take you to all the steps on how to build it, and the steps are going to be just fucking print it and glue it all together with some epoxy, we also have a few problems I want to get out of the way before you even try to attempt building this thing. It is open source for a reason. I quit, I give up. This is as far as I got the thing going. I don't want to make money on it, and I just want this to not go to waste so you guys can make a bigger and better Mega Smoother V2. Now I think in build volume this is already massive. Up to this can fit in this build chambers. I think you have more than room enough. Now we have two problems with this machine. First of all, it is not going to be super cheap. I think total BOM cost with the filament will cost you around 400 to 500 euros. We have a bunch of filament, like you can see. This has been printed with Polymaker Teal PLA. Everything inside can be printed with a regular PLA. That is going to be the beauty of this system. The only thing that is mega annoying is trying to glue everything together. So like I said, these have all been glued together with an epoxy, but we are also using these panels right over here. Now we call it Blauw Bond because it's Netherlands. You guys call it this in the USA. We have coated aluminum on two sides, and in the middle we have a plastic core. Basically, that's all it is. Now, trying to glue all this stuff together and make it nice and sealable is actually pretty hard, I found out. I have used all sorts of glues, from just general surface material gluing shit that is really good at gluing, all sorts of silicones, polymers, hybrids, nothing sticks from this panel to the PLA. That is something I already figured out. So we have two solutions. You or epoxy this panel forever to the rest of your material. Normally you shouldn't need to remove this paneling after it has been built. However, some electronics are in the back, so if it actually is fucked for some reason, it is maybe better that you can remove at least one panel. Now we also have a second solution that has been untested. I have reached out to a chemical company and they have proposed a chemical, and that chemical is used for tank sealing for fuel tanks. Very aggressive stuff, but it should work on this thing. They promise over 24 hours of endured heavy exposure to these vapors, while silicone and all this junk doesn't do that well. So this one is a little bit leaky. All the panels need to go out and need to be redone with the stuff that the guy told me to use. Now it's all in the repository, not sure what it's called, but it will be all linked down below. This system is also actually pretty easy. We have mechanical switches for the light, we have a switch for the ventilation, we have a switch for the build plate rotating thingy. Now I'm going to, yeah, so it works. And then we have a red button, and that is going to activate the mist of doom, the stuff that we actually want. So in the back we have a bunch of jets, but let me show it up close. Now this panel is actually removable. We just have some double-sided, whatever the hell this is called, and I glue them hard to the plastics because the glues gave up. Then inside we also have a control setting. This is just a generic timer, and the only thing you need to do is press a second button. This is all optional, and you can see I have set it to 3 seconds before it turns off. So the mist will only be working if I press this button. Now all these lights are lighting up and it will turn off. So this is going to be your timer to do all the things. Now inside, this is going to be what is controlling the misters. These have also a built-in timer, but this is going to be half an hour to an hour. I forgot, but these have an internal timer and it will just turn everything off at a certain time it is spending. This is the door mechanism. We just have our printed hooks and it clicks in like that at 3 spots. One on the bottom, top, and in the middle. You just unhook them like that, and then the door will open. Now you can see we have a double sealing going on. Seal right over here, that pushes on a seal right over there. And if we push it together, it should seal up nice together. Now, one problem that is in this version is this door is a little bit flexible. It is not thick enough. So that is something for you to fix, that maybe to get this door a little bit thicker so it doesn't bend in the middle. Not a major issue, just something you should know. Here we have the inside. This is going to be the Polymaker polisher. You can see the whole damn thing fits into the build chamber. It is that massive. Fan over here, 2 fans in the left corner and 2 fans in the right corner. Also right over here we have a removable build plate feature on the bottom that grabs the motor, and we also have a wear ring. This is for the bearings. Multi-part print. You can see these are 4 parts printed together, and we had some ugly seams, so for that I have printed 1 big ring. That ring will ride on these rollers. These are just nylon rollers. You can get them everywhere, and there is a little bit of a spacer underneath so that this plate isn't rubbing on this plate, because this plate actually has a function. Because we have a fan right over there and a fan right over there, and all this air is being pushed through this build plate. So these fans are connected underneath here, and these are pushing air underneath, so even the bottom of your object can be smoothed. And right here in the back, we have 3 diffusers sitting right over here, and the same is true, we have 3 diffusers sitting right over there. And here you can also see that my glue job is already starting to release, so this one is already due for a new glue job. Replacing a build plate is as easy as picking one out, grabbing the new one, and then a little bit of fucking around until it indexes with the motor. And if you push this button, motor goes spinny. That's it really, it is that easy. So the major development went into the design of this frame. This has been a multi-part. It's all open source and step files, so do whatever the hell you need to make this work for you. You could even make it higher, bigger, deeper, I don't care. You have the files, you do whatever the hell you want with it. For instance, if you don't want to have the issue that you need to print this wear ring inside this build plate, today's sponsor PCBWay is going to fix just that. Because PCBWay is your one-stop solution for all your FDM printing. If you want this in a single piece, PCBWay is going to be the GOAT because they can absolutely make you a PLA print out of this in one piece. Not only that, they also do 3D metal printing and all the source materials that you know, PCB making, laser cutting and even metal bending these days. PCBWay has it all. It is just as easy as importing one STR or step and you get beautiful stuff like this. This duct has been printed out of aluminum and it is just coming out accurate and absolutely chef's kiss beautiful. So if you are too busy with drinking your cup of tea or you just don't want to bother with printing stuff like this in multiple pieces, there will be links down below for PCBWay. Give them a try and you will be surprised how easy PCBWay is going to make your life. So I could actually just call it a day because I have an example that actually was smoothed in this thing. But would you believe me if I said so? Wouldn't it be better to make my life even harder and just print new gear with all the stuff we are sitting right over here and just show it live? The answer is no. I just want to go home and do something else. But for you guys, I will just do that, go to the farm and do some printing and actual smoothing with my leaky Mega Smoother V2. Yes, it's very leaky. You will see when we are starting the smoothing. Alright, time to go visit the farm. Welcome to the Anworks 3D farming simulator. This is going to be my farm. We have our Redfig brother right here in front and we have our little brother farm. These are all self-built Vorons. If you want to see it, I have streamed it. Go look it up or maybe there will be a link somewhere over there. So these are all loaded with PVB, the magic stuff from Polymaker. And right here in my hand, I have my own farm software. It has been based on 3D printing nerds, partially. So the farm stuff, all the logic has been made by 3D printing nerd. There will be a video to him down below. Basically, he made the farm tool that works with all sorts of printers. If it's Clipper or Prusa or whatever the frick you like from printers, well, he made a little script and I have massively modified that script to work with my suite. So let's try it, shall we? I have never tried it, so I'm going to push the start all button. Yes, confirm. Start all the printers. And the first one started. Hell yeah! I have set to one printer each cycle so it doesn't all get flocked onto the printers. So now we wait for the second one. It is uploading right now. This one is now starting. Come on, baby. Give me the third one. This one popped alive. And it looks like we have to solve a bug because right now I have one printer. We can see it right over here. I have one printer that says that it is finished. And that's the one that needs to grab my last job. And it isn't doing it. Great. Here we can see it is printing. It uploaded the file and I can see it actually started the file. And this one, I was hoping this one is going to be the black one. We are printing a figurine, but the black one is sitting right over there. So right now I have just set to the thing. We are going to print everything in black, but we have green, transparent, black and teal. And the one I wanted to be in black is not going to be in black. It is going to be transparent. Oh well, ain't this a beautiful sight to see? This one is printing. This one is going well on the way. We have this one and then the first one that we need to figure out what the hell was going on also is printing. So we got all four doing the base, printing PVB. We got the eyeballs filament dryer for the top two. We have something, that was meant to be reviewed, but Filamentrik, dude, if you're still alive, please let me know something. And then we have the Polymaker poly dryer going on. This one is turned off for some reason. So here we go. Now everything is nicely. Oh no, I know why. This one is fucking loud in contrast with the rest. But if you want to see right over here, this is going to be a little sneak peek. This is going to be the thing I use for my UPS backup. And we can see that two printers that are running right now are sitting at 300 watts, 250, sometimes jumping even higher. So here we have 400. So this one is doing an amazing job, and if we cut power, then there will be no issues with these two right over here. So I'm extremely happy. All of them are running. We just need to do some tweaks here and there. So I'm back and they all failed. Except for one, which is going to be half of the other print. Everything else failed because I forgot how bad PVB sticks to anything. So the blue plates, these cryo grip plates from, I believe these are from Big Tree Tech. These blue plates for ABS do not perform well on PVB. The black one did slightly better, and I mean ever so slightly. It was also bad. So these two now have glue on the belt surface, which absolutely sucks because that means I need to remove it again. In the meantime, while I was watching all of these fail, I have done some firmware tweaks on my thingy right over here, the print farm manager, and right now they should all four start without any issue. I have selected, instead of one by one, to do them all four together, just to see that the demo is actually doing what I wanted to do. So I'm going to press start all, and they are all uploading, and we should see them all four come to life together. It's a little bit dependent on the file size. The bigger it is, the longer it takes. Now this one received the data, and there is still one uploading. That's a very high count of parts on there. It's taking a little bit longer. And this one now also received the data. So here we can see them. This one is now doing all the homing. This one has done, and this one is doing some things. It is heating up for the wipe, heating up for the wipe, and also this one now started homing the hot end. This one has done the nozzle wipe and is cooling on the build plate. And this one is buzzing along. All four are ready to do some printing, and we will see if this cryo grip plate, the PLA one, is going to do better than these right over here, the cryo grips. All right, let's go. This is the new plate. I can already tell you that I tried to remove this brim. It is impossible right now. So these plates are damn sticky. So that is great. This one is going to be awesome. Then we also done this one, so same plate. This is the same thing, and it is extremely sticky, so also going to be amazing. Then we have this one going on. This is the transparent one, and you can also notice that we used to do this one. I have used the same plate numbering, but it doesn't matter. It just picks it at random because it is printing a different thing. The thing we wanted is actually now sitting right over here. So it is going to be the transparent base, this one with the teal head on it. Well, it is what it is. And right over here, it is also doing some multi-part printing with some glue this time. So the glue that I'm using this time is from Flash Forge, because I don't want to fail again. It is super annoying, especially this one. This is a very large multi-plate one. We just don't want to fuck around too much because this man has shit to do. It looks like the farm had a very productive night going on, because the first plate is looking real nice. It's still sticking, so the glue is doing something. I hope it's just not awful to remove now. Then we have this one, and I'm actually happy that the farm has sent this to the more transparent one, because this is a mold, and this mold needs to be filled with something, maybe some rubbery type of stuff going on, and we have to inject it in these holes. And now with the transparent mold, maybe we can see what the hell actually goes on when we pour in our resin. So super happy, beautiful print. We also got our Darth Vader brother right over here. We have a massive overhang going on. We have some dirt in the beginning of the print, and we have some instabilities that is part of the Z-wobble, because it is not supported in the back. A very nice view on how it is going to perform on the overhang, but the main detail is going to be the front is looking very, very good. And then we have this plate going on. This is also a very big multi-part thing going on. The plates actually work really, really well. No glue on these ones. They do very good on PVB filament. Now, if you already know what I'm printing and what it's for, then leave a comment down below. I would like to know if you have built one or not.
Little did this blistering idiot know, he fucked up badly.
Well, in today's fucking around to find out, these plates and PVB, no good. We have pulled the special coating off of these build plates. Oh my God, it's so bad. Right over here, we are missing some of that stuff. And interestingly, I think, I could be wrong, this is just a PVB coating and they just reacted to each other and now they are almost permanently fused to this plate. Why do I think that? If I grab some alcohol and I wipe on it, it feels slimery after a while. The same thing is going to be true for PVB filament. If you do it long enough, it gets slippery and slimy. Did I just uncover something or am I just a dumbass printing PVB on these plates?
Should I answer this for you?
I think we have the answer, right?
Yeah, he's the idiot.
It's the plates, by the way. All right, I'm back. I have Mr. Sniffer right here with me. He's going to be my new colleague for today. Why Mr. Sniffers? Because he's sniffing for my damn toes and fingers every time he's near me. And apparently also the camera. Yes, you. All right, it has been an hour or two. Let's see what we're up to. So, first one, looking great. Even the overhangs, these are going to be always hard, like you know, but this system is handling. Then it's other brother. The design, not bad. And then we have this one. This one has some very interesting features. So very, very wavy textures on the outside. This is not the print failing. It is just the cloak of this character. It looks like we will be having successful prints in about an hour or 10. Major disaster. So we got the motors skipping. You can see it right over here. It started printing right there. And the reason is actually obvious. So I don't get really mad when things like that are going to happen, especially if this filament has been provided by Polymaker themselves. Whatever. However, it is important to know what the actual problem is. And in this case, it was very easy. It was this buffoon. Well, what happened is the slicer, so this is a new PVB profile, and we forgot to enable the Z-hop. Yeah, so no Z-hoppy and no worky. Because we got some curly stuff right over there, and it is very easy for your nozzle to strike these. And if the strike is hard enough, your motors will start to skip. Not only that, also on these models, I heard the same thing. They were all nozzle striking, and that is something very common in 3D printing that has never been talked about, or not enough in my opinion. What is actually happening is when you are squeezing down your filament layer, your layer will actually expand a little bit. So the next time your nozzle will move over it, it will strike it. Not very hard, but if we are having that plus the curly bits from a very not well printed part, I have to say it is because we don't have the cooling power to run PLAs and PVBs, because these printers are not meant to be printing that type of materials in the future. Then yeah, it is very easy for your hot end to do stuff like that. So the easy fix is obviously going to be adding some Z-hop, but we got 3 out of 4, so I'm quite happy. I also started some of the cleaning. Right over here we can see the parts. Do you already know what we are trying to build? And these are going to be the remaining parts. These have yet to be cleaned. And then we have our two-sided mold. So this is the negative side. So this is one side of the mold. And this is going to be the other side of the mold. This should start ringing a bell, I think. Then the stand is looking amazing. And then we have our little brother right over here. Same issue, it stuck really well. It broke or sheared a piece off, so I glued it together with some plain IPA, so the one over here. So that is going to be a major positive on using PVB, because also this one broke. This one has already been fixed, like you can see. And this one broke, also the same issue. It stuck too well and we broke the prints. You can also see the coating of the build plate is still stuck on here. And we will see if this is getting smoothed. I have my answer. The build plates are actually some sort of a PVB coating. All right, we have done all the cleaning, removed all supports, and surprisingly, the supports removed fairly easy. Even these long ass pieces that were all the way inserted in this beautiful ghost lady. Everything released nicely. And this might be the most interesting one because this is kind of rough, and this is because of the plateauing of the flat features. Probably I was better to print it upright, something like this, all supported, and I have printed it flat, and that is going to give me those wavy features. Now, this is not too bad. This is going to give us a perfect example on what the limitations are going to be when we are doing some PVB smoothing. We also have a base, and we have Mr. Darth Vader sitting on it, and that will be looking something like that. Also very good print. This will be a very interesting print to see how smooth all these layers are going to get. Then we have this old fella over here. Mr. Yoda is looking like $1,000,000. This is going to be very, very interesting to see how well these features will be saved in the model. You can totally decide how much smoothing every object should get. So this one will be on a timer to see how far we are going to let it run, but the print quality is absolutely amazing for a kit printer like a Volran. And then we have the beautiful ghost woman. She is looking awesome. I am a sucker for the female shape. I'm a man after all, and this is going to be very interesting, especially to see how smooth this is going to be. And then we have this brother. You can see the sword has been a disaster, and the reason is because we have printed this at too much of a speed, and all the filament didn't have time to solidify. You can see as soon as we stopped with the head, the sword got worse. Now, let's call it the feature. I want to see what the smoothing is going to do. We also broke the sword, but you can see a little bit of alcohol, and now the sword is back to its maker. It's time to do the most dangerous part, and that is going to be the alcohol smoothing. Now, I have a fresh bottle of IPA. We are going to pour it in the containers, but first I'm going to show you where those containers are sitting right now. So, also very nice, the door opens nice and wide, so if you want to work on it, it is not slamming you in the face. Now, the immediately pungent smell of alcohol. There is still alcohol in there from over a year ago. I think the last time I poured alcohol in was way over a year. So let's look how much of that alcohol is still present. Still a fair amount of alcohol in it, but not enough for the wicks to go to our diffusers. And on the other side, seems to be empty. So the only one that has alcohol in there is going to be this one. Now, the inside in the middle, you can see we have some type of a pedestal and the motor that is driving everything. Then we have our little controller sitting right over here. And then we have the diffuser board. So we have one over here. This is USB powered. I just snipped the wires, and it's just a bunch of these wahos that are connecting everything together. And we have a second board sitting right over there. Because if you look in the back, we have 3 pieces over here, and we have 3 pieces over here. You can also see the filler hole is right over here. And over here we have the same. This is going to be the hole you fill the liquid in. So the rest of this model, the only things that are not printed are going to be this side, that side, and this side. Then we also have our front plate that is also not printed. And then obviously we have the top plate. And here you can see how I did the lighting. Everything is going from this corner right over here. So that tube has wires running all the way down, and it goes into the bottom, and then we just go right over here where all the rest is. So that's it, and except for some bolts for screwing everything in, we also are using heated inserts, for instance, to mount stuff like that. There are some nut and bolts for the roller bearings. A bunch of this is just glued in. Where the fans are sitting, there are also heated inserts down below, and then you can just tighten it from down below. These are all things, if you don't like it, you can change yourself. Same is going to be true for this one. You can see I have just holes right here in the side that I just drilled for piloting, and now that should be in design. And this is also just a bunch of heated inserts. That's why 3D printing is so fantastic. This whole damn thing has been printed in PLA, and the only thing that I had to do was buy a bunch of these composite panels, and this is going to run you somewhere around the 120, 130 euros for this complete build. Then the filament is probably also going to be a good 200 euros, and then you have about 50 euros of hardware just to build this damn thing. And then we have the polycarbonate front plating, some some of these rubbers and all of that. But everything will be in the repo down below. Open source, fill it like you want it, change it like you want it, and let's make PVB smoothing great again. All right, so first of all, we are going to fill it up real good, all the way to the top. The more alcohol that is in those containers, the better the evaporation is going to be from these jets. I call them jets. These are ultrasonic thingies right over there. They just need that dollar board that is sitting below. You don't need any of the polymaker diffuser type of things. These are dirt cheap to get. I believe it's about $5 for a set of 4, and you are getting the board and everything that you need. Time to pour it in. So the 2 tops in the corner are taking about a full bottle each. So we have 2 liters of alcohol sitting, one over there and one over there. Now it's time to put on the build plate and heat some of the prints on there. We are going to start with the bigger ones. The bigger ones are going to be more forgiving than the smaller parts. The smaller the parts are, the faster they are going to smooth, has been my general observation. So let's start with putting a bunch of these on here and see what is going to happen. Now, one big gotcha with the Mega Smoother is going to be once the alcohol is in there, the 2 liters, they are in there. They are not coming out again, except if you want something to put in there with a little hand pump so you can suck that little container dry. You can do that. It's not designed for it. I don't care, you do you. You can also plug it off with some rubber thingy, and then the alcohol only can evaporate from the little holes you made for the diffusers. Also, everything has been powered by 5 volts, so the LEDs. We have our controller, we have our fans, and we have our rotating thingy. That is all being powered by a Meanwell sitting right over there. And that is all based on 5 volts. And the reason I use 5 volts is just going to be for safety reasons. The lower the voltage, the less the sparking will be when something goes wrong. And I can tell you right now, if something is going to go wrong, the consequences are going to be massive. So we want to minimize it. And for that, we need as low as possible of a voltage, and 5 volts is as low as you can get without having issues like running fans and a motor. And I mean it, my PhD isn't fucking around, and I'm not going to find out. I can tell you that much. All right, enough yapping. What we also have done is put in a timer, and I have set the timer at 30 minutes, and we are going to do smooths or sessions. I call them sessions of 30 minutes, and see every 30 minutes how these objects are going to look like. So right now I have a 30-minute session running, and I'm going to show you some overlapping footage, and that is going to be the diffusion that you're going to see in the 2 corners. That is going to be the alcohol being sucked out of the top and being diffused by the ultrasonic vibrator thingies. And that's just the press of this button. Also, what you can see, and the reason why the tops are in the corner and the fans are in there. So the evaporation of the alcohol is very close to the fans, and what is happening with those fans are going to suck up all the alcohol and it's going to shoot it to the top of the machine. So the top side of this thing has some convection going on, but it is going to be forced convection by the design of the fans. So right now, all the alcohol is just basically doing this. Right in front here, like I showed you, we have 2 fans sitting, and the alcohol that is returning is being sucked up by those 2 fans and being pushed down the build plate, just so that the bottom also gets the smoothing effect. Now, this lady right over here is hollow on the inside, and that is going to be very interesting to see if the build plate is actually doing anything at all. Now, spoiler alert, this one has been done, and you can see it is also smoothed, but the smooth is going to be less than the top side. That is going to be very logical. There is not a bunch of airflow ramming on this bottom surface, and most of the time the bottom doesn't matter anyways. But it is there. You can turn off these fans or delete the feature, however fancies your boat. It is there, so if you want it, you can use it. So right now, the only thing we can do is just wait for the alcohol and the forced ventilation to do its thing, and I will be back in about half an hour, and then we are going to look what the smoothing has done so far. Now I'm going to turn on my ventilation. I have a hood right over there that is going to suck up all the leakage, and I can already see from my meter in the back we are now sitting at 1.17. Let me show you guys. So that is the meter that I'm talking about. That is measuring total VOC, I'm going to leave it off for the first half hour and we are going to see how much leakage we have going on. The only thing I can already tell you, if I would open a bottle near it, it will spike up to 5. That is going to be the maximum it can read. So right now it is sitting at 1.17 and that is just from me pouring in the liquid and opening the door, and it is still idling at 1.17. The air conditioning is running, but the air conditioning is not going to do anything about the alcohol vapors. For that I will need this to suck up all the air and push it to the outside. Now, also something very interesting to note is that the amount of evaporation of alcohol is going to increase over time. So as the saturation of that cotton wad is going to be better and better over time, you will see right now the amount of alcohol getting out of that boy right over there is actually pretty good right now. And the other side is also chuching. You can also see what is happening with the alcohol. It is nicely being sucked up and blown to the top of the machine. This is going to be the magic of the Mega Smoother. And you can also see right over there all the my attempts to try and glue it. We will actually see that the curling that you can see right now is going to get a lot worse over the whole length, because the acrylic I used ain't no good for this amount of alcohol. So we are a little bit over, I would say 12 or 13 minutes in, and we can see that the gloss is starting to appear. Right here on the helmet we can start to see the first remnants of alcohol that is being clamped on our object. Also, this missus is getting wet. And yeah, we will see. This is probably going to take another smooth. So the 30 minutes I know is going to be not enough. This is probably going to be an hour to an hour and a half. My God, this is diffusing alcohol like me on a Saturday. This is very good. I am very happy with the performance so far. So the only thing we need to do is have a little bit of a wait. Also interesting, the diometer is showing us 1.55, so we are definitely increasing the VOC in the shop. We started at 1.17 and we are at 56 and climbing. This is going to be normal. This sucker ain't sealing no more, and we will see the leaks when they are showing up, and we will see some puddling going on. But for now, there is not enough alcohol going on for alarming amounts of alcohol being deposited on my table. But yes, we are increasing the VOC. And we are now, let's say, 15 minutes in this smoothing process. Over 30 minutes, we can also see the jets have done the thing. So the timer has run out. We can also see our missus is getting quite moist. And Darth Vader, the same. Also the window, don't know if you can see it, but the window is also getting wet. We also ramped up the VOCs. We are sitting at 2, so we are definitely losing some vapor out of this machine. Well, no dripping so far. So far so good. The machine is handling it. But yeah, so I'm going to press it again. This is the timer. This is the button, and we can see, there we go, another smooth. Let's go. You can also see the kit I was using is starting to curl up, so the bonding is completely fucked. I've also cleaned this sucker up, and let's do a little bit of a print. We are going to print a master ball. I just uploaded directly to the printer. We are using red filament, so let's see what is coming out of here. And this time we should have done all the fixes, so the layer thingy. All right, fingers crossed. It has been over an hour, and let's look what we are working with. We can definitely see the smoothing is starting. It's over an hour and we can see it is not perfect. So we are going to give it another session. Also, this is after an hour and we can see it is starting to get very unhealthy. So I'm going to start running the hood so we can come in and have a little bit less of a VOC. Time for a little update. So this has been reset at an hour, so we are now well over 2 hours, and yeah, we are getting there finally. So we see some proper smoothing going on. Has been 2 hours, and I believe a last sash will close it off real good. So it is looking not too bad. You can see we are starting to smooth them out, but it is not where I want it to be. Oh, and the first leak. The leaks are real. Oh my God! It's even worse on this side. So yeah, like I told you guys, this unit is very leaky because all the the glue I used, or the lack of glue, is all just no longer doing what it needs to do. That is going to result in less efficiency. Usually I leave this running for all night, so all the vapor that is still in there, because there is still a lot of moisture in there from the alcohol, is still doing its job, and the fans inside are still circulating the whole thing. If you thought this was going to be a 1 hour job, yeah, unfortunately not. It is going to be heavily dependent on what you're trying to get. I want them to be ultra smooth, and for that you need a lot of alcohol or a printer that is really consistent. But I think this is going to be the most realistic scenario. We are probably looking at another half an hour at least smooth. So I would say that 3 to 4 hours to get it just like the skull. So we are going to let it do, and after that I'm going to smooth the other stuff. I'm not going to keep updating you guys. You know the spiel. My thing is leaking like crazy, and we are on borrowed time, so a little over 4 hours, and this is the result you can expect if you have one that is, I would say properly sealed, but that ain't the issue. But oh, $1,000,000, look at this, absolutely beautiful. We can obviously also see the carnage it did on the silicone, and it's not great. Yeah, that's also why it is leaking very badly. So this is the point where I'm going to take them out. The problem is I don't have a second build plate, so that means we have to do some waiting before I can touch them. Annoying. Or I try to scratch them off and try to move them around. I didn't think that through. I'm always taking a little bit of a step back so all the alcohol can get out, because the airflow is doing like that, because there is the extraction. So I'm going to give it a half minute. What you are also going to notice is a very sticky residue on everything. That is the alcohol dripping from the project and then accumulating like right over here. This is all sticky residue. Now, Darth Vader is wobbling like crazy, but look at him. Beautiful. And our little missus. Very nice. So this is going to be the new test plate. There are a lot of small and bigger pieces on there. This can be a good thing or this can be a bad thing, and we are going to over smooth a bunch of crap. Now we also have one we didn't do. I'm going to leave this one as a last one. But I think this is going to be a great test plate. The only thing we need to do is push the button. So this is going to be the final plate. This is the part of the mold that we still had to do, and I have a special Pokeball. Yeah, of course we needed something that was very round. So here we are, something very round. Now one thing is, it is going to stick a little bit and you will see it. And you will see the pin marks right over here. So you can, this one is very noticeable. So you will have to be aware that if this is a viewing surface, that the amount of pins on the build plate are maybe not enough. What would be a solution is to buy something from Amazon or whatever you are from, is some kind of a basket system or a tray system with a very fine mesh, so the alcohol can still go through the mesh, but your projects are better supported than we have going on right here with the dots. The dots are really made to house bigger projects, but if you want to do smaller stuff, it is possible with enough pins like here in the middle. This one has very few marks because it is well supported. But in my opinion, some kind of a basket system to put on this tray would be very, very nice. Not only that, it is also very interesting to be able to remove parts during the smooth. For instance, this needed a lot longer than this part right over here. So this continues to smooth even though it is not necessary. And that is also going to be a downside if you throw a bunch of shit in your mega smoother, that some parts are already done, honestly, and other ones needed more time. So a tray system on this thing definitely going to be winner winner. So here are also a few examples. If we look at this is going to be a very nice smooth. This has not been over smoothed in my opinion, but this one was on the same tray and there was some feature on here. So the little lines, so your finger grabs on it, and those are almost completely gone. So you can see, well, for some things you need longer smoothing. This one could have done with maybe half of the time. This is a nice little cylinder, almost looking buttery smooth. Also a very nice smooth on this part. So some kind of a finger trigger guard, I think, also very well smooth. Then we have the revolver casing. We can see there is still a little bit of layering going on. So this could have done maybe with a little bit more smoothing, or this will need some sanding when it's dry. And then we have this bolt thingy, the bolt catch, I believe. This is also a beautiful, beautiful smooth. Then over here we have the mold, and the mold has come out great. You wouldn't tell it because you see the infill very, very well, but the surface, the one that actually matters, so right over here you can see this is a two-parter, is super, super buttery smooth. And then the second part of the mold, same thing, the inside of the mold, the features that really matter, these are buttery smooth. And the great feature right here in the bottom probably has been muted quite a lot, but this will be very interesting to see a real pour in this. Now, one massive downside about these molds are going to be that they need drying, and not a little bit, they are going to need probably 1 to 2 weeks before these are actually going to be useful. Because right now, these are filled with alcohol, and while I can touch these and my fingers are no longer going to mark these molds, they are going to stick together. So if I now would try to force these together, there is no way for me to remove it back again because everything is fairly soft. And if I just leave them like this, tomorrow they will already be sticking just because they are still going through some of the smoothing process, and they will need to evaporate all the alcohol that is in these molds. So probably this is going to take at least 2 or 3 weeks. Then you will need to clear coat them on the inside just so that the remaining alcohol is not going to fight with the stuff you are going to try and pour into these. So if you want to actually see me do some mold pouring in these guys over here, let me know in the comments down below. And if you want to see me finish this thing right over here, the molds are part of it, let me know down below and I would be glad to do it in a separate video on what this is, how smoothing is going on, and maybe we can do some coatings. I'm thinking about liquids that look silverish. Alright, if you want to see this, pop a message in the comments. And then we also have some very, very round objects. This is going to be from a Pokeball, and you can see the top where the printer is doing a lot of stuff very roughly. We can see some, that there are still some defects going on. So even though that this has been smoothed very, very good, you will see that when this completely dries up, because right now it is super, super soft. If I push it, we will have to do a sanding pass if we really want to get that smooth stuff going on. The same thing from the other side. This has been over smoothed in my opinion, and still the features are present. So this will also need a sanding. But the rest of this thing is looking very good. Then this is also part of the Pokeball. This is looking pretty good. We are only going to see this side right over here, and also right over here. This is printed like that. This will need some sanding. We also printed 4 figurines. We have a very smooth one right over here, or it was supposed to be a very smooth one. Then we have Mr. Vader on his clear throne. And like I said, this is going to be stuck after smoothing, and yep, it is. This is very stuck. This thing ain't removing anymore. Then we have the old faithful Mr. Yoda. He is looking actually pretty amazing. And then we have something from some movie. I have absolutely no clue. Now the sword is going to be the most interesting part of that. The only thing I can say, comparing to the original from the V1, the V2, this unit right over here is doing a perfect job of all the smoothing. So here we have them all 4 side by side. How do you think they are looking right now? In my opinion, they are looking amazing, especially this one and this one. The smooth really did its purpose. So like I told you, the sword had a little bit of a problem. Now the smooth did a proper job, but the, let's call it, features are still present. If we are looking at his face, we can see the inside has also been smoothed of the face, but we have remained a bunch of the details of the, I would say, the jacket. So the texture is still on there, but the layers are completely gone. So this is looking like a very, very good print. We had some overhangs, no issues. And then the hands itself, we can still see the fingertips or the nails are done very well. So this, in my opinion, is a very good smooth. And then we have our old faithful. We can see in his face, he is extremely smooth. So that went very well. The cane also looks amazing. The hands and everything you want to see is amazing. Then we also have the jacket going on. The jacket is also looking amazing. We retained a bunch of the details without over smoothing them. This is looking very nice. If this is something you are looking for, then the Mega Smoother is definitely going to promise on that thing. And then we have Mr. Vader. We can see Mr. Vader has been smoothed exceptionally well. We could also see there were a lot of layer lines on the helmet. Well, my brother, these are now completely gone. This has obviously been over smoothed because of the smooth effect. We can see a little bit of defect on top of his head, but still very respectable result. We can also see the features on front are getting a little bit lost because of the smoothing, but this is still very, very acceptable in my opinion. So this is definitely over smoothed, but if this is the look that you are going for, then this is going to deliver. Then the backside, we had some nasties going on. We can still see the nasties are still present, although a lot less. But you can also see if you don't clean your prints, they will be stuck inside of your smooth. And then we have the bottom itself. It is looking very messy, although the outside is actually completely smoothed. What you can see is going to be the infill sitting in the material, and this is going to be supportive cubic. So everything you see is just plain infill, and this is a very cool feature because right now we can see how the print is looking from the inside. And then we have my favorite object of them all. This is going to be the female glaze. She is very, very smooth. Also right over here, the print was a little bit rough, but most of it got out. I have to say that I'm really happy with what I see. This is going to be a very beautiful print. The cloak is looking amazing. The face that needs to be smooth is looking amazing. And even her best features are looking amazing. Now the most interesting part is going to be, has the inside been smoothed? The only thing I can say is yes, the inside has been smoothed. So I think the results speak for themselves. Make up your own mind if this is going to be something that you want. The machine is completely open source, and in the link down below you will find a repository with some instructions, some links for all the parts inside. These will be affiliated, so they help me out for all the work that I have done, but also the stop files of this machine will be inside, and if there is anything that you want to change, please share it with the community, because I want this to be a community project. Now I'm going to show you something that I warned you in the beginning for, what are going to be the downsides of this Mega Smoother. The first interesting fact, the silicone is just getting all spaghetti-like. It is just so saturated with all the alcohol. It is popping out of everything I have glued up. You can see it also right over here. So I can just basically pull this out and all the silicone would be gone. The same is unfortunately true for this. All the silicone is just fucking off and I can just all pull it out. The silicone attempt, this right over here has been glued. This is all coming off. And the same is going to be true for this side. All the silicone is getting loose and jiggly. The top side is doing a little bit better, but still this is going to be an issue in the future. So what I'm going to end up with is going to do a little bit of a smoke test to see how well the fans are going to be working in front and the ones in back, so you have a little bit of a visualization, just so you know what the hell I was trying to achieve. So we're going to put in the build plate and let's do a little bit of a smoke test and see how efficient everything is running. Let's focus a little bit on this side. And there we go. You can also see a nice circulation of air right over here. So yeah, it really goes quick, and even when I turn it on now, you can see that the smoke really is running around in there. Okay, so now we are going to do the same test, only we are going to look at how it is going to swirl like this. And now let's see what the smoke is going to do, but like that. So we can definitely see a nice circulation going on, and combine that with the rotating assembly. This is going to ensure you that you will have the proper smoothing going on. And there we have it. It is time to release my puppy, my little possession, to the world. And honestly, I hope you guys have an amazing time building, designing, changing everything on this thing. It has taken me months and months to come up with the design. Probably it's not going anywhere soon, so yeah, it is what it is. All I can say is we can do so much amazing stuff. For instance, this has been evolved by a friend of mine, Maker Viking, has been completely smoothed with a Mega Smoother. We have a full face completely smoothed. Why? I don't know, but you can. And I even did a little bit of a cooperation with a Belgian cosplayster. She has a beautiful, beautiful representation of a character. I think it's from the same movie, I'm not sure. I'm going to link her account. We have done a bra piece and then everything surrounding, and it all has been done with PVB. It has all been smoothed, and then she has given her complete flair on that. So I actually had her in the shop. We had a little bit of a chat and never went anywhere. But Inge, if you are watching, thank you so much for the cooperation. It has been an absolute joy. And if you are not a member of a channel, then please consider it. For only $2 a month, you can follow this baboon into the stuff he is doing. And we are going to do a bunch of stuff that is, in my opinion, going to be even more interesting than the Mega Smoother. I now also have a new tier. If you want your name permanently on these closets, you can now become a real man of culture. So if you are a real man or lady of culture and you want your name permanently on that little black thingy right over there, then there is a link down below that you can follow. And if you subscribe to it, I will make sure to put your name on that closet. All right, that's gonna be it. I really hope you guys like it. Thank you so much for watching, and guys, I see you in the next one. Almost forgot about it. If you actually want the Mega Smoother, the one that is sitting right over here, and all the filament you see on my left, your right, just reach out. You can come pick it up if you want. I live in Belgium, and if you want to make the trip to come pick up all this stuff, it's yours. Just let me know. noisyworks@gmail.com, or reach out on Discord or Messenger or wherever you can find me and ask about the Mega Smoother. I don't want it anymore. I am done. I have enough shit to do in the future. So if you want it, ask it and you can get all of this stuff. All right, that's really it. Bye-bye.